Hello everyone, my name is EVOO and welcome to Cooking with the Coias. On today's show we're going to make what I'm going to call my Italian flag salad. Something that's very refreshing. It's got a great mix of lettuce. You're going to absolutely love it. And I also want to talk about balsamic vinegar. So let's start with balsamic vinegar because that's very, very important. So the balsamic vinegar, you have to treat it like you do olive oil or even wine for that matter. First of all, you want to make sure you buy a balsamic vinegar that's in a glass. Stay away from it in a bottle, just as you would with olive oil. Second thing, you notice this glass is very dark. Same as olive oil. You want to keep the light penetration out of your balsamic vinegar. So a dark bottle. Next thing, of course, the true balsamic comes from Modena. It comes from Italy. That's where the balsamic originated. That's where it comes from. That's the true balsamic vinegar. That's what you're going to want. And you could tell it's got the official seal here as well. You know it's the real deal from Modena. But probably one of the most important things that maybe a lot of people don't necessarily know about, and I want to share that with you, it's the rating system for balsamic vinegar. Yes, there is a rating system for balsamic vinegar. And you know how there is a 5-star ratings? Well, they don't use stars, they use leaves. And they go up to 4 leaves. So I'm going to show you on this one right here. Right here, you will see there are actually 4 leaves on this particular balsamic vinegar. So what that means is a 4-leaf balsamic vinegar is going to be very robust, full in body. It's going to actually be sweeter than a 1-leaf or a 2-leaf balsamic vinegar. A 1-leaf will be lighter in body, not as sweet, thinner in nature. This will be more full-bodied and will have that robust flavor, which is much more intense. So you will find that this you could even use over top of ice cream, over top of fruits. This has many, many uses, but it is fantastic in a salad. Okay, so speaking of salad, radicchio. It may look like red cabbage. It is not red cabbage. This is radicchio lettuce, and when you pick the lettuces, they're tight. They're tight in a ball like that. There's actually a lot of lettuce, even just in one of these. And the way I like to prepare my radicchio is I will cut it in half, and look at how thick that is. They're just tightly bound in there. I'll cut it in half, and then what I'll do is I'll cut it again in a quarter. And then, quite simply, just by hand, I'll take about half of it off. There you go. And then from that, I'll just cut it. You can cut them to the size that you want. Actually, I'm going to put them in here today. And then just peel off the layers and get ready to wash them. It's relatively clean, but then the core, I just take the core out, and I'm left with, again, another little bunch. I'll take maybe cut a little bit in half. These ones are small enough. I'll just put them right into the lettuce. So let me finish cutting up my radicchio, and then I'll show you the other 2 star ingredients. I also like to wash my lettuce right in my lettuce spinner. And if you've never used radicchio before, I want to show you, it's actually a thicker lettuce. It's a heartier lettuce. It has great flavor, and it also adds a fantastic color to your salads. I also like to spin my lettuce twice. That's my second spin, and you can see I still got a fair amount of water out of there. So you want to make it as dry as you possibly can, because we want, of course, the condiments to stick to our lettuce, not the water. So into a bowl goes our radicchio. Look at that beautiful color. Isn't that fantastic? We have 2 other lettuces here, and it's the mix of these 3 lettuces that make this salad so good. We'll start with our endive. This is the curly leaf endive, as you can see. And when you're picking out endive, look for the endive like this one. You see the nice white and yellow? That is like the heart of the endive. That's going to be nice and sweet. So this green part, what we're going to do, we're going to cut off the greens. Okay? This is going to be fantastic in our Italian wedding soup or in our beans and greens. This does not go to waste, so that just gets put aside. But for our salad, we want more of this nicer yellow white endive. So same thing, I just basically cut. Look at that. That is 100% beautiful. Oops, wrong place. Let's put it in here. And sweet and tasty. So then I just kind of size it up. It looks like one more cut here. Look at this. Isn't that's what you want right there. That's going to make a beautiful, beautiful salad. And I just put that into my bowl, cut the end off, and same process. We're gonna give that a wash and a double spin. Second spin, and again I got some fair amount of water off. Not as much as the first time, of course, but enough. Oh, look at this. This yellow and white lettuce is going to be so sweet and so tender. If you've never had endive in a salad before, you are going to absolutely love that. Boy, that's looking good. Okay, now our third lettuce is called escarole. Now, escarole, unlike the radicchio, is really, really clean. One wash and you're done. Same with the endive. It's typically clean, one wash and you're done. This, I don't know if you can tell or not, but you can see the dirt on there. Escarole, for some reason, typically comes to the grocery store a lot dirtier than most other lettuces. So I like to just give it a rinse first, just to get some of the heavier stuff off. But this is going to get washed 2, if not 3 times, just to be sure. Same thing as the endive. I'm going to take this green part here. I'm going to remove that. And I want more of this white and yellow on the inside, the sweeter, more tender. And again, escarole is my #1 go-to for beans and greens, which we'll make one day as well, because the beans and greens make an excellent recipe. And we'll keep those aside, and we will keep the insides here. And I don't know if you could see or not, but definitely there's a lot of dirt that needs to be washed out. In fact, before I even cut this up, I want to show you the different complexity with this escarole. You've got the nice green and white. Look at that white, the nice white lettuce there. That's absolutely beautiful. And then in the middle, look at what you got. You got this nice, beautiful yellow. Again, like the endive. So it only took 2 washings because I pre-washed it pretty good. But let's give it a second spin. I like to give it a good vigorous spin and get all that water. Look at that. You always get water the second time around. Okay. Very good. So now we got our nicely cleaned escarole. Look at this. Beautiful light color to them. Green, yellow, white. Oh, there we go. My bowl's too small. I have too much lettuce. So what I do now is I take my 3 lettuces and just toss it ever so gently together and just get them mixed up. Get all the red mixed in with, get the radicchio mixed in with the escarole and the endive, so that you got kind of an even mix of all 3 lettuces. There we go. We got everything mixed in, and just take a look at that. Not only is it so very, very colorful and beautiful, but it's also delicious because you've got that mix of 3 lettuces in there. And now what we're going to do, I'm going to show you how we're going to dress this the typical Italian style. Now, speaking of typical Italian style, Italians like to have their salad after the meal. I always have my salad after the meal. After the meal, it's very refreshing. It cleanses the palate. It helps you digest. And as I always say, there's always room for salad. If you have the salad before your dinner, you might not eat your dinner. So depending on what's for dinner, I'd rather not take that chance. So always room for salad. So I'm going to just put a little bit of salad here, just enough for Laura and I for tonight. She doesn't eat much lettuce these days, but I'll have a little bit more. As far as mix, very traditionally with the Italian salad, the traditional is very simple. It's oil, salt, and vinegar. And I'm going to tell you, when I use this balsamic vinegar, the 4-leaf balsamic, I don't even add salt. So because there is so much flavor in this vinegar, you do not need salt, even though there's no salt in here. That's how good it is. And the typical ratio from olive oil to vinegar for any salads is 3 to 1. 3 parts olive oil, 1 part vinegar. However, again, with the 4-leaf balsamic, you don't need as much. It's very powerful. So we're going to go 4 parts olive oil, 1 part vinegar. So when I put my olive oil on, you want to make sure that there is enough olive oil to coat each lettuce leaf. That's kind of how I judge it, and you'll be able to tell after you toss it up. And then the vinegar, again, keeping with that 4 to 1 ratio, it doesn't take as much vinegar. That's it for the balsamic. Like I say, especially the 4-leaf balsamic. So I'm going to toss this up. If you're new, you might not have heard this, but if you've tuned in before to some of my other episodes, you know what I say. When you think you've tossed enough, toss some more. Because you cannot over toss, and again, you want to make sure that all your olive oil and balsamic is evenly spread. So just looking at these leaves of lettuce, they are all nicely coated. There aren't any bare ones. They're nicely coated, so I know I have enough. If they weren't, I would have added maybe a little bit more of the olive oil as opposed to the balsamic. But that right there makes for just a great plate of salad. In fact, let me get a plate. Look at that. We got a nice mix of different colors in there. And the flavor on this salad, just with the oil and the vinegar, outstanding. And the thicker radicchio gives it that extra hardiness. But if you like salads, you're going to love this. The beauty of this is, not only is this a fantastic salad, I do this once a week. I take this, I'll put them in Ziploc bags. I'll leave the bags open though, so that there's aeration going in, and I keep it in the fridge. And guess what? Every night, I pull it out, toss my salad. I have a salad at the end of every meal, and it's already done. It only takes me once a week to do it. Very, very convenient. You don't need to buy that pre-washed salad. And if you noticed, I didn't use iceberg, I didn't use romaine. These 3 lettuces, that's the ticket. If you've never tried radicchio, endive, and escarole together, by all means give it a try. If you have never tried 4-leaf balsamic vinegar, it might cost you $1 more, but I'll tell you right now, it's really worth it. Good olive oil with the balsamic, that's all you need for a salad dressing. I want to thank you for joining me. It was my pleasure to share this with you today, and I hope to see you next week on Cooking with the Coias. Thanks for tuning in, and until next time, bon appetit. Love it.